it. Nice opinion. Just one tiny problem with it. Inspecting your post, it looks like your opinion is different from mine. Let me tell you something. I am the baseline for opinions. Any opinion I hold is objectively correct, and as a result, any other opinions are wrong. Guess what? You happen to hold a wrong one. I hope you know that your opinion is now illegal. I have contacted the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Navy SEALs, Secret Service, and your mom. You'll be sorry you ever shared your opinions. By the time you're reading this, you'll be done for. Nature will punish you. Humanity will punish you. Supernatural beings will punish you. Space will punish you. We decided just to make sure we'll nuke your house from orbit, so there's no chance you can run away. Everyone will know you will die. It's a small price to pay to remove your wrong opinion from this world.
Unkillable Demon King! And in the mid lane, the unkillable Demon King! The first inductee into the Hall of Legends! And the greatest of all time!
Opinion. Just one tiny...
Dang it, okay. Remove ad. Hello. Alright, hello. We're going to react to a League of Legends video. And if you enjoy, like. If you're on the rewatch, like the stream. Subscribe if you enjoy. Comment your thoughts, I guess. And let's get started.
There can be no doubting it. 4 players on the Rift today, making the impossible possible. Owner, Faker, Gumayusi, Keria, and now Doran as well, are world champions.
T1 has just won yet another World Championship tournament. This is not only their 6th time lifting the Summoners Cup on the world stage, but also their 3rd year in a row. It's hard to explain just how ridiculous this feat is. This is an achievement that is likely to never be repeated again, and something so unbelievable that most pro players wouldn't even dream of it. It is, with no doubt, the most impressive accomplishment of any team in League's history. 8 years ago, in 2017, T1 tried to secure the legendary Worlds three-peat, but ended up facing a devastating loss in the finals. Yet, in 2025, they've achieved the impossible. People always wondered who could possibly surpass SKT T1 Faker, and now we finally know who that person is.
I wanted a trip I'd never forget. Flavors, new experience. Sapphire Reserve.
T1 Faker. It sounds like a joke, it sounds like an exaggeration, but it's actually just a fact. If you look at T1 Faker and SKT T1 Faker as 2 separate players, you are looking at the most decorated player in history and the 2nd most decorated player in history. Most pro players will end their careers having never won Worlds once, while Faker's now done it 6 times. Since his pro career started, there have been 13 World Championships, and he's won almost half of them. Just think about how unbelievable that would be in any other sport. When a team wins Worlds, each player gets a skin created in honor of them. Faker's skin will be his 10th skin in the game, meaning he will have more skins than 71 champions, which is 41% of the game's roster. If you were to look at the list of players who have won Worlds 3 times or more, it is literally just a list of
And outside of Barrel and Duke, every other single one. But if you look at the 2s, only Duke and Barrel have a team not T1. Obviously, Duke has this, but he also has IG. So Barrel and Duke are the only ones without T1, and Barrel's the only one in with the 2 doesn't have T1 at all.
T1 players: Faker, Owner, Gumayusi, Keria, and Bengi. Even more ridiculous is that it's been almost 10 years since Bengi's 3rd Worlds win in 2016, and Faker is still collecting even more. How is it possible that one team can be so dominant for so long? How can one player be unanimously considered the greatest player who will ever touch the game? And how can that player have a higher win rate at Worlds than most players could even hope to have in solo queue? This isn't just about Faker though. T1 as a team is unbelievable. Each player is crucial to the success of the team, and every member of T1 has cemented their names as some of the best players in League's history, with 4 of 5 members being on the team for 3 consecutive Worlds wins. This video is going to cover the story of T1 at Worlds 2025, with a focus on Faker in honor of him finally achieving the three-peat he missed out on in 2017. After T1's second consecutive Worlds win last year, their roster was considered by many to be the greatest to ever exist in the history of the game. I even said as much in the video I made immediately after Worlds. That's why it was devastating for fans when the news broke that Zeus would not be re-signing with T1, and that meant the legendary team of Zeus owner Faker, Gumayusi, and Keria would be no more, which
And now Guma is also gone.
was particularly crushing because of what they had just achieved. It wasn't long before the new top laner for T1 was announced, Doran, and right from the start, he was fighting an uphill battle. The fans said that the T1 dynasty couldn't be stopped until now, and that Doran was going to take it into his own hands. They said the addition of Doran would be the end of an era for T1. 1 year ago, it was even said that it would be the funniest timeline if Doran won Worlds before Chovy.
Owner, Faker, Gumayusi, Keria, and now Doran as well
Hey, it happened.
are world champions! And the disbelief on his
Hello
face!
there, Wayfarer.
It wasn't just Doran who was fighting with the weight of the expectations that follows with being a member of T1 though.
T1이라는 이름에는 높은 기대와 무게감이 항상 따르죠. 이번 시즌이 쉽지 않을 것이라는 것은 처음부터 알았습니다.
T1 are, but also how kind of weird the situation is with T1.
아무래도 올해 시즌 초에 좀 힘들었던 것 같은데 이제 교체 과정이 있으면서 좀 옛날로 돌아간 듯한 기분이 들었는데
Really, for the first time since he and Teddy swapped positions back in 2021, we will be having T1 Gumayusi out.
The beginning of the season had been very difficult for Gumayusi, with T1 even bringing Smash on as a bot laner. At Worlds 2024, T1 had gone from being the last team to barely qualify to being world champions. And in 2025, they did it again, because the T1 Worlds buff was in full effect. The final 2 series of the tournament were extremely hyped, because in the semifinals, T1 would face off against Top Esports, the final LPL team in the tournament. This is the absolute worst case scenario for any LPL team, because T1 have never, not
Lesson number 1, Rob's Club, New York. Vanilla, Sandalwood, and
a single time lost a best of 5 to an LPL team at Worlds. If you're not familiar with their track record, you probably expect a match history consisting of a few wins, but that is definitely not the case. Since 2013, T1 has had 12 wins and 0 losses against LPL teams. This was Top Esports' chance to break T1's 12-year-long win streak and finally have a shot at winning Worlds.
他们有很多可以失去的，但我们什么都不怕，一切都是用来打破的。
Kanavi once again isolated. Shockwave.
Shockwave from Faker to burst down the enemy jungler. Kanavi has never found his angles in this game after that first blood. Cream of the Wall wants something. They'll give him a burial.
Game 1 went from having a single kill at the 24-minute mark to ending 5 minutes later, and T1 had a lot of momentum going into Game 2.
Doran has found Cream.
Wants to go after this Rise. TP coming in from the side of Top Esports. T1 ready to respond with one of their own. Doran down to half HP. Owner wants a little bit more. The teleport is a little bit late to arrive from Faker, but it's still just in time. T1 send more men, and they get the double kill because of it.
They can run, they can hide, but Top Esports cannot escape the nightmare that is T1. it was a 2 versus 1 that turned into a 4 versus 2 as Faker's Onyas.
Faker walks right towards the brush, but he's got the reaction time. Top Esports wanted to find their moment. Carry is wrapping around from the side. He wants to cut off the escape. Pop Blossom on 2. Doran chasing after Hong as Jackie Love is dead again. And Doran cuts the enemy support down. Only Kanavi is alive to tell the tale. And T1's got a 5,000 gold lead.
T1 crashes down on Top Esports, and it will be the base that will be next to fall.
It wasn't enough seemingly for Faker and T1 to have that record over the LPL. They also want to get the fastest records over beating the LPL at Worlds, because this is an unbelievable shellacking from the man you see walking behind us right now and his team, Emily.
After game 2, T1 was looking unbeatable. And to add salt to the wound, Gumayushi in that match was using Jackie Love's Kai'Sa skin, who happened to be the enemy bot laner. Game 3 would turn out
That's insane.
to be a brutal match, going exactly how it seemed it would.
T1 and eliminations at Worlds are just a different beast altogether, and Top Esports are all too familiar with it. Quarterfinals, semifinals, it does not matter. T1 only see victory.
T1 with the Baron pushing into the enemy base now. Doran happy to tank the turret. T1 continuing their push straight through that mid lane inhibitor. Side waves not really set up for a successful multi-lane push. So T1's just going to keep going straight for the Nexus. Here comes the Grand Starfall, and Jackie's already down. Hong goes with them. The focus fire into 369 as Cream and Kanavi scramble to stay alive. But nobody on Top Esports has anything to stop T1.
一切都是用来打破的， 결코 깨질 수 없는 기록도 존재합니다.
They'll get the final kill, and yet again, the highest peaks of the LPL are merely stepping stones for the unkillable Demon King. Faker and T1 have set.
And all because, oh, hello. One player from OMG, a player from 10 years ago, did not shake his hand. It is now
The stage for the World Finals
13-0
Telecom War.
to an entire region.
For the 4th straight year, T1 was heading to the Worlds Finals. This was now Faker's 10th appearance at Worlds, and he was going to Finals for the 8th time. Having an 80% chance of making it to the Finals when you're at Worlds is an unreal stat, and it shows just what an anomaly Faker is. The finals were going to be very exciting, with the series being another chapter in the legendary telecom war of esports. This war is a battle between SKT and KT, dating back to long before League of Legends even existed, well over 20 years. SKT and KT are both telecommunication companies in Korea, which have been deeply embedded in esports since the very beginning. Just ask any StarCraft player about Boxer, who was signed by SKT T1 in 2004, or about his rival, Yellow, who played for KT Rolster. To make the Worlds 2025 finals even more unbelievable, the matchup was actually poetic, because Faker's pro career had come full circle. 12 years ago, at the age of 17, Faker played one of the most memorable matches in League's history. It was his rookie season, and SKT T1 was playing against KT Rolster in the LCK finals, with the winning team going to Worlds 2013. This series turned out to have one of the most referenced, most watched, and most iconic moments of all time.
If you're living with severe alopecia areata, it's time to...
And just from that, you already know what it is.
그리고 이 기나긴 여정은 바로 여기서 시작되었습니다. 2013년 롤 챔피언스 서머 결승전. 운명을 가른 5세트. 통신사 대전.
3년도에 KT와 결승에서 플레이를 했을 때는 사실 그렇게까지 많은 사람들이 좋아해 줄 줄 몰랐는데 13년도에 그 KT 경기로부터 제 이야기가 시작됐던 것 같습니다.
Watching that match and that outplay in 2013 was a support player named BDD, who was so inspired by Faker's performance that he himself started to play mid. There are countless interviews over the years where BDD talks about his admiration of Faker, including one from during Worlds 2025 where he said that he hoped T1 would make it to the finals just so he could play against Faker there. It's even been a running joke in the LCK for years that BDD keeps asking for Faker's phone number, but Faker won't give it to him. And now, 12 years later, after being inspired to play mid because of him, BDD was now going to face off against Faker himself at the 2025 Worlds Finals.
롤 e스포츠의 수많은 유산들은 한 선수와 깊이 얽혀 있습니다. 오늘 그는 누구도 이루지 못한 역사적인 월드 3핏에 도전합니다. 8년 만에 재도전이죠. 하지만 그에게 앞에는 그에게서 영감을 받고 자라난 선수가 서 있습니다.
With the goal of achieving the three-peat they missed out on in 2017 and a lot to prove to their fans, the final series had begun.
And on the opposite side, that Wukong that I really highly prioritize right now, as far as the jungle pool, is going to find the first skirmish.
The first kill of the series happened 3 minutes in. Owner got collapsed on trying to secure the Scuttle Crab on spawn, giving over first blood to KT.
That's going to be first blood. They're donating it to BDD.
The early game was very chaotic, with Gumayushi being caught while overextending after a failed gank, giving away first dragon.
And it's a 1.2k gold lead at 6 minutes, Gobi!
And shortly after, KT picked up Void Grubs completely uncontested. Just a few minutes later, Kyria went to gank Perfect in the top lane, but it completely backfired due to a roam from KT.
Carry on the way up, but Perfect is completely overheated. Buying a bit more time to overheat now as he turns back into the wave. Damage coming in, and the rest of the team has arrived! Spinning right on top of Doran, and there's a Cyclone! Carrier running for his life, concussed. Taken down, KT dominating game one.
At 18 minutes into the game, KT had almost a 3,000 gold lead, 2 dragons as well as Void Grubs. The score was 6-1, but when the third dragon spawned, T1 wasn't going to give it up without a fight.
A flashback from Perfect. T1 chipping away at those resources. Eyes on the equalizer. Redemption now used. Cooldown up just in time. KT keeps going, but now they want to turn it right back. Instantaneous equalizer. Carrier locked up. Rumble coming in, but denied. Carrier wants to knock Perfect out of the fight, but it might not matter because it's Doran into the back line. Owner stays standing. Cuz take it down. T1 fire back.
The momentum that KT had built up disappeared instantly, and a few minutes later, at a standoff over Otacon, Doran flashed in.
Flash forward. All the end of the back. Immediately thinks he picked off, but Peter does his best to heroically disengage. It is not enough to keep Doc standing. Cuz taken out as well. Doran in the 3v1. Completely and totally unfazed. Carrier there to stop any further follow-up. Faker taking down Perfect. And BDD is not enough to stop T1.
KT continued to contest Otacon after killing off Doran, but Faker landed an incredible Talia W.
Perfect available. BDD finds the angle into Doran. Carrier now backing up 3k on the objective. Getting lower. Steadfast presence gone. Faker on the backside. Cuz wants to try to make it out of this one, but now they're moving into advantage. Take out Guma. No, Guma living. Fight to finish him. Looking for a bit more damage, but T1, they find the double for Carrier. They take the thorn down Otacon. And Perfect. It is too little. It is too late. Baker teleports in and he saves the team fight.
After this, KT weren't able to recover from the goal difference and momentum gained by T1, and Doran was able to find yet another Flash ultimate.
Now they might just look to end it here. Flash forward. Perfect execution. Aptly named as Doc Dam takes him down. KT now chasing out as well. BDD trying to well more back into the rest of the team, but Carrier once again there to interrupt. Doran, unfazed by the magic damage of BDD. It's a double kill coming through. Perfect and Cuz, the last two left standing. But a TP into the base to bring back and seal the deal in game one. T1.
And this is why he chose him best as his skin.
What a performance.
AT&T's been carrying America's calls since 1876. When you've been around that long.
Game 2 started rough for T1. Just 4 minutes into the game, KT got first blood on Gumayushi, using Nico as a cannon minion to tank the turret.
Peter flawlessly turns into the Canyon Minion to eat countless tower shots.
T1 were able to get the first 2 dragons, but at 15 minutes they were down about 2,500 gold, until they tried to catch BDD in the top lane ahead of the Rift Herald.
There's BDD. BDD potentially caught out, layering in the CC a little bit off. BDD unstoppable for a brief moment, ready to use the ulti, but Faker has stolen one away. The gold in the cliffs, but the follow-up is there from Peter. Makes it a 1-for-1. Ball breaker coming in. Faker just CC'd for an eternity. The Kingslayer healing not available in time as Cuz is on a killing spree.
After getting a turret and Rift Herald, KT's gold lead grew even further, up to 4,000. That is, until Faker and Owner caught Cuz out of place.
Chip really starting to hurt onto Doran. Catch over the wall onto Cuz, the most fed member. They're immediately going to delete him, and the rest of KT try to pull the trigger, but they can't quite find the angle. BDD, Doctum, they've got the range advantage. Peter waiting to peel for them if necessary. Perfect. Spots them in the darkness. The Tremor Sense showing him what he needs to see, but they've stopped moving or have moved out of range. He can't be certain now. The Q from Doran moving in. Peter still gets the ulti. It's a golden eclipse from BDD. A new dawn for KT in game 2, but T1 are unconcerned. Guma, Carrier, standing, the bot lane. Will it be enough? BDD trying to fight her back, but it's Gumayusi fearlessly advancing, ricocheting, tearing through the dreams of KT.
Just over a minute later, Faker found a pick on Doctum, but it didn't go as T1 hoped.
But this man is a team-fighting demon. The dragon starting to fall. Turn back from Faker as he catches out Doctum. Cuz there to try and peel, but it is too late. Owner moving in. A cataclysm across the top side. Perfectly canceled. BDD flashing over the wall. Gumayusi still living.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Perfect on the... Peter wants to fire back. Cuz running for the hills. 2 down on the side of T1. Baguma might be enough. Perfect. Gets the bite. Tears right through him. And now it's Owner picked off as well. KT fighting for their lives. BDD still standing. Crucially, the extra damage. Doran set to fall. A double kill for the KT mid laner.
At 25 minutes into the game, KT had a 5,000 gold lead, but Doran found an interesting angle.
Those double roots between him and BDD have been very critical. Now, though, Doran is looking at Doctum.
Doctum, unaware of the Scion, but knows that he has relative safety. Has to be careful about walking forward towards that brush. And Doran perfectly placed and baited Doctum. Far too confident.
Doran lying in wait makes Scion look like an assassin here.
Even though Doctum was cut out of place again, KT were able to deny the soul point to Dragon by threatening to do Baron until Ezreal could teleport back in.
4 seconds till Doctum is up and available.
I actually love this stall from KT. They're able to deny the soul point.
Then collecting it for themselves. A few minutes later, while looking for an angle, Faker got caught by Peter.
T1 now looking to pass Doctum in the river, but he is Ezreal.
Doctum. Pass over the wall. Peter looking to make a play. Lockdown onto Faker, looking to turn it back. Root is connected as well. Faker's been caught. Buys a brief moment with the Seekers. The rest of T1 retreating. Perfect buying the space and the tunnel over the wall. It's a heist. He buys the time to take Faker down.
This led to a Baron for KT, which quickly snowballed into a 9,000 gold lead. They sieged until Dragon spawned for Soul, and T1 had no choice but to try to contest it despite their disadvantage.
Starting to get forced backwards. Doran to kick things off. Peter to look for the interrupt. Faker using an ulti of his own to be stolen away. BDD taking another fight. But down goes Guma. Cuz making it work, but PD's owned away by Carrier. And all of KT now collapsing on the T1 support. At the end of the day, it is only Owner in the 2025 World Finals. Doran isolating Cuz. Peter going forward. Finds 3 with the knockup. Perfect there to fall, but Faker turns it right back and knocks down Peter. Doctum, BDD, still standing. Baguma! He's shredding through everybody! The Simmer finally allowed to take over the fight. But they managed to take him. Faker still alive in the scrappy fight. The extra healing is making all the difference. Doctum doesn't quite have the damage that he needs. KT holding on for dear life. Doctum able to find the kill. Perfect, Cuz Doctum falls. A final hold for T1. It almost turns in their favor. But Perfect is going to end the game. Guma dies, and so does T1.
KT had managed to even out the series with a decisive win over T1.
Freaking ass. Shibal.
The The draft for Game 3 had some interesting picks, with Owner on Viego and Cuz on Mundo. This Mundo pick would turn out to be a fan favorite because Cuz was about to honor Alois and Skumond, putting on an absolute clinic. This was definitely not
Mundo had a 100% win rate. No one saw coming.
Not Owner's first-time Mundo from earlier in the tournament. First blood in this game went to KT, with Faker getting run down after an attempted contest of Dragon.
Cuz maybe doing some poking, but I don't think an actual contest is in the works here.
As long as he has his passive up, he's not too worried. Hex Drake down. BD waiting in the darkness. Multi-man. The CC layering is there. Doctem on the way in, but he's only level 4. Owner now running for his life. Forced to flash away. Ulti comes out from Faker. He doesn't have a lot of mana left. The Dark Sphere hitting, slowing Faker down. The chase coming through, but they really don't have what they need. Ulti there, his power unleashed, the weak scattered, and first blood for KT.
Just a minute later, Doran decided to proxy between two towers, which was met with some confusion from the casters.
Doran,
What's that Crocodile doing?
Going for the proxy here. You want to get your extra 30 seconds? Well, move up and catch the wave before it joins up with the opponents. Is going to mean Cuz has an inside route and access to the alligator, though.
That's a Mundo with red buff. Doran.
Yeah, Syndra's coming.
Doran.
He's just dead.
You only have one piece of CC.
Cornered.
Yeah, that doesn't work on him. He's going where he pleases, Doran. I think this might not have been what you wanted. BDD on the way, hoping to get this donated. Doran, I think.
Well, he's stalling.
Barnott might be in the game, but this is certainly a magical journey for Doran as
Trying for the execute. It's all he can do, but not going to happen.
Well,
Cuz chased Doran, Owner did manage to get the grubs, and shortly after, there was a standoff for second Dragon.
Gumayushi standing on the backside, ready to transcend if he needs to. Doctem going all in to try to stop him from getting his fight. Owner on the way in, looking for the reset to keep the fights going. BDD going over, wants to kill Owner, but Owner lives for an extra second. The stun to turn it back. Owner taking over BDD, but the stun does not connect, and Peter's now running. Cuz locked down in the meantime. Perfect is finally here, but it might not matter. Reset on the ulti from Owner means he gets to back away, but the health bars are low across all of T1. KT, this is an insane gamble. Objective, lower and lower, and Cuz is taking unstoppable for perfect. Gets a bit more space. Carry is still living. Doctem on the way in, and Guma set the fall. Down goes the 80 carry. Doctem on the way out. The TP in. Fish in a barrel, and it's time for KT to start free firing. T1 thought they had the edge, but in the end, it's KT who take the Drake and the play. And it's because Mundo!
At Herald, Kyria managed to get a pick, leading to Herald and a slight gold lead for T1.
Oh, there's the TP. There's the flank.
TP from behind. Flashing forward, Carey's going to find the knock on the Doctor, but Peter beautifully stopping the initial engage. Doran from behind, no more than enough to knock down that 80 carry. KT running.
Huge TP flank. What? It turns into more.
Peter, flash out. Reset from Owner. Unstoppable for a moment. Owner setting up for the angle, but he's not going to overcommit. Reset on the ulti. Taking him out as T1 start the objective.
KT were able to set up Dragon, taking it away, followed by a catch on Kyria.
Getting larger and larger as Kyria not sitting on
Peter,
Smite.
Hex flash. Pulverize, knocks Carrier back over the wall, and here comes Doctem. Down goes Carrier. A little bonus kill on top of the Drake, certainly nice to have.
And even diving Doran in the bot lane right after.
So KT get the Drake, they get a kill. The redemption now used as well, and it's on Doran to instantly delete this wave. It's working out well so far, but can he keep his life? TP's coming in from the side of T1, but it's just Faker and Guma off to the side. They don't have the tools to keep the fight going.
This completely got rid of T1's gold lead, but T1 was not going to give away the next Dragon without a fight.
5K on the Drake, getting lower. Eyes on Peter, the Alistair to make the play as Faker tries to zone away. KT, it's Peter in the clutch. Scattered the fall, but the fall damage is not there. Exhausted is Faker, and Carrier tries.
I mean, it's pretty big, honestly. So sometimes it's bigger than, you know, traditional sports as well.
To turn it back, but he's all by his lonesome. Doran cannot get into the back line. KT managed to find the initial kill. It's perfect to pop off. Guma missing completely. They get the Drake, but it might cost T1 everything.
He flashes into the wall, and that might be the Otacon going over to KT.
Cuz continuing to go where he damn well pleases. T1 forced back.
A critical team fight for KT.
At 28 minutes in, the game was completely even, no gold advantage with 2 Drakes each. This led to a brawl over Baron control. After Faker TP'd back in, KT collapsed on Doran while Faker and Owner were looking for a flank.
Multi-man scatter for it to end the fight in a blink of an eye is massive, but once again, it's the flank that they're looking for. But it's Doran caught out! BDD unleashing his power. Cuz using the maximum dosage as KT start to push into Gumayusi. He's outless. He's helpless. There's nothing he can do. Mundo pushing further and further into T1's back line. KT are doing it!
Afterward, the remaining members of T1 tried to contest Baron, but it led to a huge swing in KT's favor.
Potential 50-50. The Mundo damage. The auto carrier trying to zone. Peter on the way and wants to knock them out of the fight. The objective getting lower and lower, but all of T1!
You ever hear a city hum like it's got a story to tell? That's Nashville.
Your upgrade is ready, Miss Langley.
My upgrade? See y'all later. Guys, look at this one. See how she sounds. You think you could beat me in?
Yeah, it's a bit, I guess, new, weird for some people that's never seen it. I appreciate that.
Lead it! In the blink of an eye, KT take everything!
KT now had a 4,000 gold lead, and they pushed them bot side, taking an inhibitor. T1 tried to catch Perfect in the top lane, which led to an aggressive flash in by Doran that looked like it might turn the game around.
Want to catch out Perfect. Perfect can try and use Doran as an escape route. Carrier has to be careful, but Pathmaker already used means that Perfect is in trouble. Q3 back through, using Carrier now to escape. Perfect on his way out. It's not the wreck side, but once again, it feels like he's going to escape. All of KT looking to collapse. Eyes on Faker and Doran as Perfect flashes out to safety. That's the ulti used by Guma. KT pulling back, keeping Perfect alive. Doran wants to make the difference. Costco hit him! T1! Making it happen! Guma fails the flash. It stops the fight from going through. Doran getting whittled down. And in the end, it's Cuz again who refuses to drop. Peter with the CC. I cannot believe it. KT holding on as T1 in the end might finally get to the moon. No!
Who comes out ahead? This scrap Faker trying to chase down the extra kill, but so is Cuz. I think the time has worked out better for KT here. Look, the jungler for KT is up. Cuz he is on baller. He's about to secure them. That Camtech Soul.
With Soul and map control, KT baited T1 to Baron, which was the game-ending fight.
T1, the pressure point is on them. KT have baited them into the trap. Peter from the darkness finding Doran, but not the ideal carry as Guma and Faker are still untouched for now. Gravity field to lock them up. Maximum dosage. Cuz getting lower, but still living. The Mundo refusing to die, and Gumayusi drops. KT taking it across the finish line. Faker forced back. The bot lane open. The TP there for BDD. KT moving to match point. The KT roller coaster keeps going up and up!
At match point in the Telecom War, KT was one win away from being world champions, and T1 had to find a way to win the next 2 matches in a row. But this is nothing new for T1, because in my video about Worlds 2024 last year, I said this. BLG were now 1 win away from a Worlds title, and T1 had to find a way to win the next 2 games. Luckily for T1, Faker apparently scales with pressure. Watching T1, and especially Faker, play when they are in a do-or-die match is incredible. It's like they transform into an entirely different team. They actually have a 6-win and 1-loss record when down 2-1 on the world stage. And in these next 2 matches, the T1 Worlds magic was in full effect.
It is one.
And I think there's so where were he smiling down when they were down 2-1?
And 2 down for T1, but you can never, ever count Faker out. I hope we're going to a game 5, but maybe KT just do it.
They'll have to earn it.
The draft featured Owner on Nocturne with Tom Kench locked in for the first time in the tournament as a counterpick. Doran was on his classic Gragas, and to everyone's surprise, Faker locked in Nivea. The game started with first blood at 5 minutes into the game after a gank on Faker.
Grounded, Cuz on the way in. Good wall to force the disengage, but BDD full committing even though he has no mana. They do manage to get the passive out of Faker. Cuz full committing. Peter on the way. The tongue lash there. They want to give the kill to BDD, but it'll go to Cuz in the end.
And what could be the deciding game,
KT, they send all resources again towards mid lane.
Immediately after, without Faker on the map, KT started Dragon. But they forgot that T1 has plot armor.
Keria and Guma are powerful. They move in with the heal, a pillar to immediately block them out. The 50-50 goes to Owner. Flash away from the handshake. Is Peter barely able to make it out alive? Good recovery from T1.
And he flashes for that. He's like, no, trust me.
The game was looking good for T1, securing Void Grubs and even a slight gold lead.
Cuz ready for the 50-50. Faker off to the side. Decent damage on a BDD. Owner going all in. Flashback coming out from Cuz. Wall there as well as BDD just barely able to skirt around the edge. But the objective set up now for the side of T1. Double TPs. KT want to claim it for a bit more. Ulti coming out from the side of Keria. Drake down. The back line of KT berserk as they look if they can turn it back. But again, they don't have the tools to keep the fight going unless Peter wants to flash tongue lash. But that's all their CC. Perfect fighting off to the side, dragging Faker into the death realm. In the meantime, BDD starting to walk forward. Doran potentially caught out. The four-man! BDD! Showing he can be clutch in the moments that count. Turning it again. KT were losing the fight as they lost the objective. Gumayusi will not be able to make the bailout work. The Drake to T1. The fight to KT.
Oh, Doran's going to want that one back. The big whiff on the Gragas engage there.
Peter, knock up a bit too far. The thick skin, yeah, it's not going to save you. Caught up in the hype, caught up in the moment. Faker gonna get one back.
Despite the failed engage by Doran, Owner was able to secure another dragon. And when the next one spawned, KT was determined to deny soul point to T1.
Herald summoned in the mid lane. 5v5 at the pit. Flash ulti available for BDD if he wants to try and find it. Perfect isolated off to the side. Hostile takeover stops Peter from going any further. Docdam completely isolated. Cooking the barrel for just a little bit longer, and now the Drake is going to go down. Owner taking it. Docdam isolated. And Perfect trying to force a fight with Faker, but he gets nothing as the wall comes in to interrupt. Flash over the wall. The ulti from BDD. He might get a couple more kills, but again, the objective belongs to KT. Even as T1 begin to fall, Faker and Keria are ready to turn it. But have they overcommitted the wall there, trying to disengage Keria? Faker running into the pinch, Obliterate connecting for full damage. Cuz on the chase, waiting a few seconds for the pillar, but the stun clutch to disengage from the side of T1.
At Otacon, KT once again was determined to deny an objective to T1, but they didn't consider T1's second jungler.
They might just full send in on Otacon, at least to get the TP out of Doran.
Understand the gamble the KT are in because T1 are collapsing, and in the meantime, waves are being deleted. It's costing KT hundreds of gold just to be here. And if T1 take the fight, it might just cost them the game.
Perfect has
sticking around, ready to get them away. The ulti not stacked up. Perfect going forward just a little bit longer. The death realm to come out. Owner going to respond with an ulti of his own, turning off the lights on this team fight between both lineups. Gumayusi and Perfect in the death realm, and Guma takes those. T1 focusing on the objective. Cleanse use from Keria. Heal on the way. Faker finding a bit more damage. BDD isolated. Hostile takeover going to connect onto BDD. It won't have much effect as Cuz tries to chase Faker out. But Docdam, he might take Keria. But it's T1 taking the Otacon. Guma securing the objective.
And there it is. The second smite for T1 strikes again.
During this fight, while T1 was doing Otacon, Faker zoned the entirety of KT's team solo. Barely a minute later, Dragon was spawning, and it was soul point for T1. This led to one of the most tense team fights of the entire tournament.
A bit tough to deal with. You can see the pierce that lands onto Docdam, taking that chunk of health. Flash in, full committal to the fight. Pillar to isolate Owner, redemption to heal Faker right back up. That's almost every single cooldown burn. It's on BDD to try to turn it back, but it's a split fight. T1 coming from multiple sides, collapsing as Owner moves in on top of Perfect. Dorn has been isolated in the death realm, but he'll manage to make it over. Flashback absolutely jukes him. And now it's Perfect caught in a one-on-one with Faker right as he comes out. He is stunned, but he won't be taken down. All of T1 in the pit. The spears stacked, smites available.
Faker's going to teleport back. They're recalling Mordekaiser and the Anivia.
The fight just continues to go. 6K getting lower. Docdam trying to get a bit of poke. Hostile takeover connecting. They don't have a cleanse. Devour from Peter is good, but it might not matter. Cuz continuing to move in. BDD waiting over the wall. The ulti is there, but they don't need to face him yet. The turn on to Faker isn't enough. 3K. Cuz in the pit. At the end of the day, it does not matter because it is Doran to get the soul. KT might be able to get the fight, but there's too many members of T1 standing. Ocean Soul to T1 as everybody on KT falls.
And I am starting to hear some silver scrapes in my telecom war.
Oh my God, T1 stand up, get the Ocean Soul.
Sometimes it takes a different approach to see the possibilities all around you.
And they have made made every person in this stadium stand up as well.
Not only had Doran managed to juke perfect by going over the dragon wall twice, he also burst the dragon with a Gragas combo, securing it before either jungler, with Faker afterwards saving him using a Nivea's wall. During the fight, Kyria landed a fantastic Renata ult down river, which secured the fight for T1. T1's team fighting when everything is on the line is completely unmatched, and I could spend hours talking about it. The best part is that after this incredibly tense, game-changing, nail-biting team fight, the camera panned to Faker.
As the double fake out from Doran.
When you're at Worlds and you're about to eliminate T1, this is the scariest sight you could possibly see. There is no worse omen for your career than being on the cusp of becoming world champions with everything on the line, but you're playing against Faker and he's smiling. At 25 minutes into the game, T1
That is terrifying.
set up Baron, and KT had no choice but to try to contest them. This led to a kill on Perfect and a follow-up collapse on KT.
They're trying their best to not let this game go to 5 as Doran still searching.
No
T1.
flash for BDD. That crucial piece of CC and exhaust there. But Faker just waiting in the darkness. Guma stacking up the spears. The wall to zone KT away. Flash not there for Cuz either. BDD off on the side is going to use the ultimate. W in from Peter does absolutely nothing. T1, they see a vulnerable opponent. They know what they can do as they start to rip them to shreds. KT is not going to take a Baron. T1 reminding us why they are here, what they can do in a world final.
The T1 ensure that we are going the distance. We are getting our full value.
There's nothing that sums up the experience of playing versus T1 at Worlds than comparing these two post-fight face cams. With a 12,000 gold lead, Dragon Soul and Baron, it would take a miracle for T1 to lose this match. And it looked like BDD was going to be that miracle, because this is what happened while T1 was sieging mid lane.
Cuz caught out, isolated, immediate subjugate to try and stay standing, forced to flash back. BDD in the darkness! 3-man! But it's Doran to try to turn it right back! The ulti is decent, Carry wants to turn it back with the hostile takeover. The gold deficit is just too massive. Even a miracle, even an incredible angle was not enough in the face of this T1 lineup. The triple, the quadra, T1 bringing us the silver scrapes.
Guma lives the engage, and T1's hopes live in the grand finals. And the telecom war has never been this insane. World's finals, game 5.
A lot of people miss this, but there's a good possibility that Doran saved the entire series for T1 here, or at least stopped KT from stalling the game. After BDD's Flash Ultimate, KT had a perfect combo incoming with Peter's Tahm Kench about to follow up with a 3-man W. But Doran spotted this, interrupting it last second. Of course, in this play, in true T1 fashion, Owner stole Gumayushi's pentakill. But with that fight, the series was evened out. It was now 2-2, and just like Game 5 last year, with Silver Scrapes playing, Faker locked it in.
Zed even?
Yeah. I mean,
telecom war Zed?
Oh, the Galio, of course.
Faker's Galio.
Galio.
저에게서 쟁취해야 할 겁니다.
The final match started with a 3-camp gank into top lane from Owner.
Perfect. Needs to back up. Level 3. Getting lower and lower. Last Right's offering a bit of healing. The tactical sweep there from Doran to slow him down. Owner all but certain to make this one come through. First blood for T1. Doran's Camille takes it.
Shortly after, in the mid lane,
Owner recognizes what he needs to do. It's snowball. Backstep good from BDD. Faker tried to go for the angle, the flash, the Justice Punch, hoping it would carry him back just far enough to instantly connect the knockup.
A swing and a miss.
There have been a lot of parallels to Worlds 2024 already, and it may sound ridiculous, but
the main one. Haro.
But this exact same scenario played out at around the same time in the Game 5 finals against BLG. This year, though, it led to a dive from BDD.
And now you don't have that pressure at all.
Q forward, sidestep, the taunt, Faker turning it back, BDD, one more auto, the 1-for-1!
Doran went for a repeat gank top lane, killing Perfect, which KT traded for its first dragon. T1 went for a gank bot lane, which led to a wild exchange.
Well, it's very common to have the similar haircut, so, you know, it is what it is.
One of the few things that we haven't seen from him yet this tournament is now the hookshot wall dive is there. Dom flashing away, but Owner's on the way as well. Ulti there, that's the Hextech ultimatum. Dom likely to escape, but it looks like Peter will be sacrificed in return. The hookshot, making it out, send it play back to the tower, but it might cost Carrier his life. It's the 1-for-1, no! The minions flicking out! Carrier walks away!
Out of the lane swap, T1 find the trailing play here. Pounce. And that's the
the comments! I have tea in my mouth, but that was incredible, the arcade comment!
9 minutes into the game was the first time the T1 were able to use their Galio and Camille combo, showing the ridiculous
every Monday and Tuesday. NBA is on NBC and Peacock.
By Peacock.
catch potential of their comp.
And the Camille Galio Leona combo is
moving down, that's the combo, locks him in the ultimatum, finds the damage, the taunt is there, and Doran takes another.
Faker Galio in Game 5 World Finals here.
T1 were able to get the second dragon and secured a slight gold lead at 12 minutes, but when the third dragon spawned, KT were on it first, and T1 were determined to fight for it.
Faker.
Second Drake's big.
Access to the ulti. T1 might just be a little bit late here. Cuz desperately needs to smite. Doesn't quite connect. Crucially, Dom able to get out for a brief moment. BDD now trying to turn and fire back. But Faker is on the way. Ulti going in. Doran is down. BDD still standing. The exhaust managing to take him a little bit lower. But Gumayushi sits on the back line completely untouched. BDD finally able to start opening up. His owner gets one back in return. Perfect is here to keep his mid laner alive. And there you go. KT find an angle to keep it close.
That's 2 shutdowns for BDD.
BDD dealt a ton of damage in the team fight and was going to do even more next time because of the gold from 2 bounties. Shortly after, Otacon had spawned, with Dragon coming up soon, and T1 had complete control. KT contested it, and with a ton of pressure on them, one of the most important team fights of the series was about to begin.
T1 making the fast play happen. KT caught reeling, too far behind on tempo. Doran might have fallen in the previous play, but he is still damn powerful. Dom here. T1 pushing them back. It'll take a miracle for them to get this one out. Owner, Peter coming in for the lockup, but Owner manages to get the objective, the fight coming out. Fire rained over the wall by Gumayushi, and down goes Peter. BDD finally arrived. That's the ulti coming in the meantime. He needs a little bit more space. Dom, BDD untouched, but the front line has fallen. BDD, CC'd, knocked into the sky, and right back into the grave. T1, get Otacon, and ace KT.
A triple kill for Guma and T1! Do it! They take over! And that could very well be the nail in the coffin for the roller coaster!
It looked like the match was decided, that KT's dream was dead, and they would just slowly lose from this point. But while getting Baron control, Owner dove onto Dom, while Doran and Faker dove BDD under a turret.
Straights as Faker brings it back. Wants to turn with the taunt. Initial lockup from Carrier is good. Dom laying down a bit of poke, and he's going to be able to satchel out, but an immediate flash follow. Coming in from Owner. T1 don't even need the objective. They're happy to keep pushing for a bit more. On the top side of the fight, they've isolated BDD. He's continuing to fight. He wants to turn it back. He gets the kill. On Doran. Crucially, Faker falls. KT hold.
BDD, the heart of KT, is alive! The smolder lives under the tower!
During this play, BDD barely lived, and many players thought this was a really bad, unnecessary dive started by Doran. But when you look at what actually happened, how BDD managed to live, the fight that happens here is actually unbelievable. Doran ults onto Smolder, which follows him over the wall. This allows Faker to follow up with Galio Ultimate. But Peter actually makes a ridiculous play here. Peter knows that BDD is the target, that he's set up to be their only carry at this point, the only way that KT can win. He knows that Faker is going to E onto Smolder, and he buffers Nautilus Q onto the tower just as Galio ult lands. This pulls Nautilus forward, which perfectly blocks Galio's attempted E onto Smolder. Peter had managed to block Galio's knockup despite still being in the air from Galio's initial ult in, and it's the entire reason why the fight turned around in favor of KT.
보성이 형에게 빛나는 별을
The next fight would be for Third Dragon, but T1 had a 6,000 gold lead, and KT was desperate to find an angle.
3 seconds on Doran. Gumayushi, the other player to keep your eye on as well. The ulti can do a lot of work. Doran going in, doesn't connect the hookshot wall dive, immediately CC'd. Exhaust coming in as well. Combo over the top from Guma! Finds two! Exhaust as Carrier moves his way to the backline. Faker rains down from the sky, locks up BDD, and obliterates the hope for KT Rolster!
The bullet time will end the time of KT here at Worlds as T1 will chase down Cuz and look for the Baron.
The damage chart for the fight really shows the impact of Gumayushi's ult here. After Baron, T1 were able to take bot inhibitor. They had an 11,000 gold lead at this point, a dragon advantage and Baron. The series was as good as over and it would be almost impossible to lose at this point. But this is still game 5 of finals. The pressure was mounting. There are no players who have as much experience playing under pressure than Faker, Owner, Gumayushi, and Kiria. However, this was going to be Doran's first time winning Worlds, and he was feeling the full magnitude of that. The casters even spoke about Doran's reputation for choking right before the match.
But who hasn't, Azael?
Doran has not done it. He is.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today. Get all the perks with a PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, December 5th.
This book has every single crop Daddy's ever planted in it. I uploaded it to ChatGPT. There used to be 200 certified seed farmers in South Carolina.
Not a world champion. As I said at the start of the day, I feel like his legacy is the most impacted out of anyone on T1 by far. If he wins here, he can push aside all this narratives about him being an international choker, about him not being able to rise to the moment.
At 31 minutes in, Doran, while sieging mid, tried to engage on KT, with the intent of having Galio ult to follow up. But it did not go as expected.
Player of Ziggs and Smolder. It's tough to hold on.
Doran looking to get things kicked off. Hookshot wall dive brings him over. He's taking the tower already. Flashback to get away from Cuz's ultimate. And the ulti manages to connect from Doc Dog. A big fumble. Not enough to get T1 back into full control of the game because there are no objectives on the map, but it will slow down the onslaught of T1. It will give KT a bigger glimmer of hope.
The voice comms of this moment are amazing to hear, and it gives really incredible insight on how T1 works as a team, as well as the player's dynamic with Doran. The call was made for Doran to look for an ult angle, but he went in way too deep. They make the call to fall back, but Doran can't get out. Faker tells Doran to play calmly, to take a deep breath, and then Doran starts to apologize to the team. Owner tells Doran it's okay, and Faker says nothing to be sorry about, but take a deep breath. Kiria adds, let's play this comfortably, with Gumayushi saying that they're still very ahead. After the botched play, T1 disengaged and waited for Doran to respawn.
Doran's going on some fun journeys. But Doran might have to chill a little bit. He's a player, though, that you have to love in these moments.
You do.
The Krug Lord. You have to embrace it. You have to laugh with him.
With no objectives up, an inhibitor down, and a 10,000 gold disadvantage, KT isn't able to get anything from the mistake. T1 simply wait to collect an uncontested Dragon Soul before rotating to Baron, forcing KT to contest it, with Kiria finding an engage.
But now with the Baron spawning, relatively even setup, but again, it's the waves in favor of T1 that make this so hard. Is immediately they're going to kick things off by going in on Cuz, taking away the Frost Armor passive. Lockdown from Carrier is there. TP in from Doran as well.
받아주겠습니다. T1이 아직 이루지 못한 3핏 저희가 이루겠습니다.
Going across the board, BDD caught off the side. A good flash to take him out, and Guma has to be careful, but he's so damn fast. Owner, we got up BDD. He goes gold in an extra 2.5 seconds to consider what went wrong as T1 looks set to end it all.
They're going to finish the job. It is Doran and Peter left alone in the mid lane, and T1 will ace them.
T1 earning their legacy again. And again, and again, there can be no doubting it. 4 players on the Rift today, making the impossible possible. Owner, Faker, Gumayushi, Kiria, and now Doran as well are world champions.
And the disbelief on his face A teammate that so many have praised over the long years.
T1 had achieved what they failed to do in 2017, and Faker finally had his three-peat of Worlds wins. It's no exaggeration to say that there will never be any team like T1 ever again. Their ability to work as a team is unmatched, even with a player completely new to the roster this season. The voice comms from the last fight and end of the game are genuinely hilarious and show some really cool interactions between the team members.
야, 스물 잡았어? 스물 잡아! 직스 잡아! 야, 이겼다. 없이 줘, 없이. 형 잡아도 돼, 안 잡아도 돼. 제발. 없이 달라고.
괜찮아, 현준이 형.
형, 진짜. 와, 진짜. 아, 내 라디오 밑에서.
이기기 싫어가지고.
근데 왜, 아니.
현준이 형.
처음이다.
형, 우선 축하해.
아, 내 귀엽긴 했어. 아, 축하한다, 얘들아. 축하해. 접니다. 고생했어.
This Black Friday, you can clean your retainer at the touch of a button. No more brushing or tablets. Over 4 years.
Faker had just won Worlds again and is complaining about not getting an assist on a kill in a team fight. Then the team laughing with Doran about inting mid earlier in the game, claiming he didn't want to win, is just icing on the cake. The MVP award for the series was also extremely fitting.
Okay, Kuma Yoshi.
Also, in 2017, the MVP was Ruler, who was an 80 carry, who beat obviously T1. But so it's fitting that the Chinese MVP when they were in China was another 80 carry again. Also handed by Chinese 80 carry star Uzi. From being doubted by everyone and starting the season with an alternate bot laner on the team, to not just winning Worlds, but also being the MVP, is an amazing storyline for any player, and Gumayushi definitely earned it. T1's run from 2023 to 2025 will go down in history as one of, if not the most incredible achievements in esports history, and I can't wait to see what the team does next. At this point, it'll be more surprising if T1 doesn't win Worlds, and that's really saying something. Another thing that has to be discussed is Doran. He already had a reputation for being an international choker, and he definitely had some misplays throughout the series. But when you're the new player to a legendary team roster who is so good that they've won Worlds twice in a row before you even joined, who isn't going to make some mistakes? Especially when you consider that those amazing players, who are considered the best in the world, also make mistakes. 2 years in a row, in Game 5, Faker missed a flashy on Galio. In this one series alone, Gumayushi, who is MVP of the series, flashed into a wall multiple times. For a player who struggled with choking in important moments, there's no better team to be on than one with a ton of experience in high-stakes situations. I'm interested to see how winning Worlds affects Doran's performance in the future. If his biggest issue was choking, what reason could he possibly have to choke in the future? He's already won Worlds, so maybe Doran will only become more consistent. But I'm curious, what did you think about Worlds 2025 and the new T1 roster? For me personally, I think that watching T1 achieve the three-peat was an incredibly fun watch. And overall, Fearless Draft has made competitive League in general, especially Worlds, a much better experience for the viewers. If you watched Worlds, what was your favorite part? Let me know down below. Before finishing up, I wanted to take a moment to thank you all for supporting the channel. Every like or comment really does go a long way, and it honestly blows my mind that I get to make content like this. As always, thank you for watching. And go, I guess,
What do you say when one in?
Obviously, I wanted Genji to win, but I'm not mad that they won, obviously, So, I'll see. Depends what time you are doing it, and also when the stream ends tonight. So I have something tonight, yeah. So I'll see. Also, thank you for the like. that's the end of the stream. Actually, one more thing. In reference to the losing to the LPL multiple times, there's just a video I have that explains why. I might watch that one. Where is it? That's. Oh, here it is.
저희한테 또 OMG가 경기 끝나고 저희한테 악수를 청하지 않은 것도 좀 기분이 별로 좋지 않았고 그래서 이번에 꼭 복수하고 싶어요.
Shi Young in that mid lane. Even though Piglet and Mandu couldn't take down that lane 2v2, they were still vastly superior. You can see OMG stunned.
Absolutely gutted about that one. Season 3 World Champions here at the Staples Center.
SK Telecom advance to the semi-final at Worlds.
We'll take down the Nexus, we'll take down RNG, and are headed to their 4th World Championship final.
As they break RNG and cross the finish line in the quarterfinals.
T1 back to the finals for the first time in 5 years, and a team full of homegrown, home-scouted talent and a
Standing, the last light of the LCK burns bright, and Busan as they head to the semifinals. They've taken down BLG, they've taken down LNG. It is not LPL versus LCK, it is T1 versus the LPL, and they like those odds. As the SKT legacy has been reignited, T1 will be your 2023 World Champions. TES to the long list of teams that they have taken down. T1 at Worlds are Titans, and they move on to the semifinals.
King for the prize, they're hungry for it. T1 are the past, the present, and the future. A new era, the same empire
is finally going to be taken down as T1 will make it to the Swiss stage to defend that world's title.
One pushing forward. They've made their way on the Nexus. AL scramble to the bend. Dora can't do it. History is written by the victor. Kill. And yet again, the highest peaks of the LPL are merely stepping stones to the unkillable Demon King.
Enough for Faker to destroy Shi Young in that mid lane. Even though Piglet and Mandu couldn't take down that lane 2v2, they were still vastly superior. You can see all of Dude's stuff.
It's the kind of beat that go.
To the semifinals.
악수를 청.
Yeah, so that's that. All right, we're gonna get out of here. I will, unless I make a video tomorrow, I will see you next week, or either a video about esports, MADEIN related K-pop, whatever. Like the stream, comment your thoughts on the after watch. Comment your thoughts on. I will see you later. Peace.
Welcome to the Blizzard Arena.
And the quest for a champion begins today.
The anticipation has been building, and it is finally time. We are live.
is a really...
Can you get over the roof there?
Oh my.
Oh my, what a play, what a grab!
Another jump here on the high ground. Super goes forward, but gets stuck up. The EMP comes in, and ding, he rains down hell from above.
Here comes Pine. Gets one, gets two. Looking for a bit more, gets another one. Neptuno's down again. That heralds disaster generally for the Fusion, and Carpe wasn't far behind. Prophet, he's killed 4 players now on his own.
From Vancouver, locks him in the sound barrier. Sound is the bomb coming from China. Oh my God, he does it again.
Flutter now moving onto the Widowmaker, taking the clutch into his own hands. The headshot, and the headshot, and the headshot.
We're going to try and circle around. I will call this the merry-go-round because it makes me laugh. Makes me happy, and Sean Paul switches to the Widowmaker at just the right time. Oh, the Graven!
I'm the best Tracy in the world.
Oh my word!
I mean, you could have told me that you spoke English, honestly.
The fans never thought they'd see this day. It took 43 matches. Feels like a really emotional moment here.
All right, I will see y'all later. Bye.